I was 15 years old in Atlanta, Georgia at the C12 warehouse. And this must have been, I think it was 2000. It was a Hope Conspiracy from Boston and Walls of Jericho from, I think, upstate New York. And my dad dropped me off on that show. I don't even know how he let me go because it was in the middle of the hood and it was wild, but I was like 15 and it was awesome. It was the best experience ever. I think, like, you know, that was my first show and I'll never forget it. I'd have to say the Neutron Bomb in Atlanta. So like, that's where I like was at when I found like punk and hardcore. So a lot of my like early memories, like real early memories, are tied to that. But the Neutron Bomb was this really sick DIY spot that had just some of the most amazing shows ever. And it was just like, it was run by a couple of like, you know, good-hearted punk kids, you know, in the ghetto of Atlanta, man. And so a lot of good memories for us. So the Neutron Bomb. Any young buck in there, how about that? It was the first time that I saw American Nightmare live. They were touring before background music came out. So I think it was like their first full US tour. And I was like really hyped on that band a lot. And I remember being at that show. That was like kind of one of the first shows where I was like, you know, I had been going around to shows for a little bit, so I felt a little more comfortable with the crowd. You know, I didn't really know that many people, but, you know, it was like getting to be up front and yelling the words and stuff and like jumping around and acting a fool. And just seeing the like absolute intensity and just the energy of like deliberate, there was nothing like that at the time, you know, and I was like seeing that happen, and that band spoke to me a lot, and that show for sure. Chubby, Charlie from Hardcore. Chubby Manning's probably the funniest human I've ever met, but certainly the funniest guy in, we'll call it hardcore. Pretty much any Swan show that has ever happened, like early Swans, not like, you know, the revamp, but like any Swan show that I missed, because I know there was a few like that I didn't go to. This is like 10, 15, 20 years ago. And then Murder City Devils when they were on their last tour. But yeah, like the Swan show and the Murder City Devils, so those were two bands that I was like, I kicked myself for not being at. The off the top is Henry Rollins, of course. The honesty, he was like the first dude who I really identified with as like an emotional guy, full spectrum emotions. So when he's angry, and when he's sad, and that's like how I am as well. So I thought that was really cool to be like, to see that, you know, like really unashamed, like this is who I am. And that influenced me as a young person growing up, becoming a man, but especially when I decided to be a singer. Aesthetically, like Danzig, the muscle dude on the stage, that's seriously like why I started lifting weights when I was young, was Danzig. So, you know, there's that. Morrissey is a big one. How he like holds himself on the stage, and it's kind of like you're in his world for X amount of time. You know what I mean? Like he's not there to perform to you. You're there to see him perform, you know? And that sounds like kind of egotistical, but that's also kind of why it works, you know? And that's part of the character. So, you know, those are the by far the three, like the big three. Where do I start? I'm gonna go with like proper new bands. For me, Homefront, absolutely. Like that's probably the most important band going on right now, like new band. Big fan of like the ethics of those guys and girls. They're awesome. Great humans. The songs are incredible, and I've been really fortunate to like play a bunch of shows with them recently, so I get to really know them. Homefront is massive in my opinion. It's like first off the top of my head. Home Invasion is like a new band out of Chicago. Some of my favorite kind of like hardcore, like almost like Charles Bronson-esque, like just, you know, minute 30 songs, just devastating. Clobber from the UK, they're a relatively new band. Just all my favorite elements of like punk and just like on full display. Great songwriting, talented guys, a lot of charisma. This band called Direct Threat from Denver, they just put out like they're about to put out a new EP, which I'm really excited for. I don't know if that's like a new band, but they don't put out music too often. But there's this almost like, I don't know, it's a kind of a pop band, but not really. It's made up of like 4 girls who are like, I think they're like 16 or 17. They're called the Lindas. I think they're on Epitaph now. But I love those songs. And my daughter loves them too. And I tell all my friends about that band, honestly. I'm like, these are catchy songs. And I love seeing like a group of like young girls like that, like really going into it. That's all you're going to get.
What's coming up for CMI? What's on the agenda?
We've got a lot of stuff going on. So we're at Black and Blue Bowl today, here in beautiful New York City, the city that works, next to Chicago. Next weekend we're in Vegas, and then playing with Agnostic Front again. And then we're off to Europe, man. So we'll be in Europe for like 3 weeks with Slapshot for a lot of those dates, and then on our own, off and on too. We're doing Canada. We're playing the relaunch of the Beer Olympics in August, which is crazy, with Antiheroes. Yeah, we're doing Canada. We're doing Mexico in September. We're going back to the UK in October. And then we're going out west. We're doing like California dates in December. We have a lot of stuff going on, but it's not like a proper tour, but yeah. So Nashville's one. That's like a big surprise one. When we first played there for like a year ago, nobody really knew what to expect or anything, and it was just like out of nowhere on a weekday. It was just a wild show. So every time we play Nashville, it's always great. I'm like, we've had nothing but good shows there, and like no bullshit, New York City too. New York City's been really good to us. Like every show we've ever played here has been awesome. It's difficult to be here. It's difficult to get here for many reasons. So sometimes that makes it hard, but the shows are always worth it, New York City is one. Anywhere in Germany, honestly. Like, Germany's been really good to us as well. Stateside, Nashville, New York come to mind. And, Philadelphia too. I almost forgot about that. Philadelphia. That was like, Philadelphia. Those are the 3 you go, stateside. Have fun, all right? And do whatever it is that you're gonna do it. Don't let anybody be a wet blanket and hold you back, slow you down, or talk shit, man. Just, you have the world in front of you. So do something with it, right? Because I love the Young Bucks. Hardcore's not dead, absolutely not. Right? If you think hardcore is dead, you're standing far away. That's all it is. You're standing far away, and it looks dead. The closer you get, the more active it is. So it's not going anywhere. As long as there's people like us in this world, it's thriving.